Okay, so now we have our earthworm stuffed. But we've got to close up our little gap here. And take some embroidery thread, same color as your cotton, and you're just going to whip stitch it closed. If you don't want to do any hand sewing, you can just take it, fold it like this, and run it right through your machine and just put a seam right here. It would probably be a good idea if you're giving this away to a little one, because it is more secure than a hand stitch. So you just keep whip stitching until the whole thing is finished. Okay, so now we have that finished. Now we're going to do the face. And the face is the last bit that we're going to do. So you take your brown embroidery thread, or if you want to use buttons, you can use buttons as well. I like to have embroidered eyes, and if you look at most of my dolls do have embroidered eyes, or at least an option to have embroidered eyes. Okay, so you want to get it threaded. Knot it 2 times, and I actually only use 3 strands at a time. So, in case you saw me splitting my thread and didn't know what I was doing, embroidery thread comes in 6 strands. I like to use 3, so I just split it. What we're going to do is we're going to take our needle through the back of the head, line it up on the eye, bring it through, and you're going to very gently pull until you hear it pop through. Pull it. This way it will hide this knot. And then just satin stitch. Using your drawn face, if you had done it in an earlier step, you're going to use that as a guide. When you go to do your mouth, you're going to do it the same way with pink thread or red, any color you want. I always have little pink mouths. Then we're going to go over, once we have one eye done, we're going to take our needle, go over to the other eye, and you can, this is a trick I had learned years ago. If you have any puckering underneath where you're embroidering, just take your needle, stick it in, and move the polyfill underneath by using your needle. And then use your hand to smooth out any needle holes. You know, if the eyes are not perfect circles, that's okay. I used to really worry about making sure everything was perfectly perfect. And I found that sometimes the harder I tried and the slower I went and the more I paid attention, the worse the eyes were. So, you know, just relax. And also the more you do it, the more you practice, the better you'll get at doing this kind of stitch. It is handmade, and every doll is going to look different. Even my dolls, they look different from doll to doll. Okay, now we got 2 eyes done. We're going to take, for our last stitch, we're going to push it down, and this might be a little tricky, but that's why you have a long needle. Down, just below the seam. And it's too short, so I'm going to have to take my needle out to tie my knot. And tie it a few times. Now if you want, you can cut your thread now. I prefer to, even with this shorter piece, and I've got to rethread my needle, still want to take put it back on, and I'm going to take my needle, go right next to the knot, push it through, take it to the front. So I have this tail now on the top. Cut your thread here and smooth. I like to do this because that way you won't have any loose tails on your knot that can be pulled on and the knot will come undone. This way the tail is secure inside the body and it's a little bit longer, also helping it not come undone. And you're going to do the same thing, follow the same method when doing your mouth. Tie it in a knot, pop it through, embroider, and take your knot, take your thread to the back, knot it, pull your thread back through the body, and cut it. Okay, so now Eddie is done. He has a face. He is all sewn up. He is ready to be played with, given to a kid. My son loves his and he sleeps with his every night, and he takes it outside with him to play sometimes. And if you did decide to fill him with the beads or the corn or the rice, go ahead, stick him in the microwave. He's ready to help you get cozy. So there you go. Remember, Eddie Earthworm is a free pattern from Bit of Whimsy Dolls and can be found at www.bitofwhimsydolls.com.